Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why you're attracting the person that you're attracting into your life. Why everything's playing out the way that it is. Very important when you're dealing with a karmic mate, right? Because karmics, they create illusions, they wear masks, they manipulate. And if you're not careful when dealing with that person, you'll wind up with a lot of negative karma. Hey, Diane, how's it going? I just had a sneezing fit. I hope that you're doing good. So anyway, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. If you're new, hey, Decoded. So we're going to see what the word of the video is. You all know if you've been visiting my channel how I work, but I always like to explain to people again that they are shadow readings. So, we always want to know what the person's thinking. That's our ego. But what's most important a lot of times when we're dealing with karmics is we want to break that karmic connection, or we want to just shape shift the energy, many different realities that play out at one time. We don't want the reality that keeps us stuck in a place of disempowerment, a place of fear, or keeps us stuck in a lower energy, right? Hey, yeah, I'm glad you're here too. Hey, I like your hand, Diane. I like all the different emojis. All right, so the word of the video is mistrust. I'm going to pull another one. To go deep. Oh, that just kind of like flew out. I don't know if you noticed that. So you have to take it. Shadow dislocation. So I'm feeling like you're dealing with somebody that obviously don't trust anymore, but it's also because you see that they're so fragmented. You would need so much therapy, and it doesn't mean that you don't have feelings for this person. Understand soulmates. This person through for many lifetimes. There is an accord of unconditional love that transcends lifetimes. There's no such thing as you can't break that bond. However, in the physical realm, I feel like you just see that this person's just like they're so broken. And why I'm feeling this intuitively, and sometimes this happens where I get the channeled message at a time and then it fills in more in the story, or like what I'm saying gets backed up in the cards. But I'm almost feeling like you feel bad now because it's like that this person, I feel like, is someone that you really can't be with because they're not healed. And it's like, and they don't, when a person doesn't even think that they need healing. So, they would require so much, but there is this energy of unconditional love. And I think for so long, you both thought that you would both be together. But I feel like there's a part of you that's like, I can't possibly be with you because I don't trust you. So again, we're going to see why that's the energy. We don't know what this person did or why you feel that way or why the message is what it is, but it's not uncommon that after a certain amount of time, even with past life soulmates, it's not that, if you learn the spiritual lesson, you're not going to vibrate on the same consciousness. You're going to want more for yourself, it means. If you were vibrating on the same wavelength, it meant that you didn't love yourself enough. You cared more about someone else than yourself. That means you didn't love yourself enough, is what Spirit's saying. So once you raise your vibration and a person isn't treating you on the same level, that's going to be one thing, but it's also all the other wounded stuff. That's the problem. You're going to, and like I said, they're self-righteous. They're somebody that has a big ego. Some people that are wounded, obviously, they do. That's the persona that they create. That's what I was saying in the beginning, that when you're dealing with a person that has shadows, they create illusions. They're not going to come across cowardly. They're going to come across as deceiving. Like they're going to try and strategize to get what they want. So I feel like this person just was someone that wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to, have you, but and not care about whether or not you were sad, didn't care about and there's some people that get off on being malicious. They feel like this person was okay being mean. And there's certain people that when you are fragmented, when you do feel this unconditional love, it's almost like overstimulating to this person, and the person does not like the feeling of being controlled. And it's not saying that you're controlling, it's that feeling that they can't control about love. So again, it triggers them. It makes them, again, triggers them to feel like it's not really, not ever really fitting in anywhere. But understand, if a person feels like they're inadequate, that's what they're going to feel, right? That it doesn't matter who they're around. It's the problem is them, is what I'm saying. So they have to heal the stuff that's within inside of them that makes them feel inadequate. Where I feel like, there's obviously passion, and that passion, when the person isn't healed, they're I feel like it's a little bit like competition, like a little bit of that energy, because again, the intimacy, and that sometimes can come out like malicious. Intimacy is just trust on this basic level. But what you'll see is, because there's no trust, there'll be a lack of eventually of, I don't really want to be with you on a sexual level. And this person likes to get a lot of attention. And if you're not going to give them the attention, then they're going to try and get the attention from other places, because again, they're insecure. And then, blame you, create a lot of drama, be very dramatic in the relationship, where you're like, I see what you're doing. And it's because they need the attention. They need to feel desirable. But it's like, how are you going to feel desirable for somebody that is deliberately going out of their way to make you feel bad? Because that's what it kind of feels like. And it's because, again, hurt people. That's what they do. It doesn't logically make sense. We're going to look at a few triggers. And then what's crazy is we're going to actually look and see what this person thinks. And what you'll see a lot of times is the wounds are and what they think are so, a lot of times contradict. I feel like this person feels like I feel like you rather felt like this person was still connected to their ex. Like that, maybe that there was someone still in the picture, possibly. Now, that could also be well, somebody was there. You did just, they weren't giving you attention, because this person requires a lot of attention. And you also know that they try to do things to get a reaction, to get the attention from you, which again, it's a needling and mean way, but then they'll give attention in a flirty way, in a nice way, what it is perceived, to people that are on Instagram, or people that are on social media, or people that are insignificant. And Spirit says that's the whole point. What you'll see is a person that's then nicer to strangers than they actually are to the people that are in their life. And you may call it a narcissist. It's a narcissist pattern. However, it's one where this person really cares about, obviously being seen a certain way. And I feel like you got tired of, again, you'd ask for certain things, and this person never took accountability. Someone that's self-righteous, they're never going to take the blame for anything. If anything, you're going to get blamed for the relationship being a certain way. And that's because every time you try to establish boundaries, well, now this person has a problem. And they have a problem because, again, of their detachment issue. Because they're the one that needs to compartmentalize. You're not, you're, what you're asking for is not a lot. But again, they're going to act you dramatic. And like I said, what did I say? I said after a while, the passion, like you're like, there were just so too many things that frustrated you about this person that the passion was gone. And that's what I said, because the intimacy, when the person like just betrays you and betrays just your trust, it doesn't even need to be like cheating. It could be just not showing up for you emotionally. It's like, but understand if that happened to you in childhood where someone didn't show up for you emotionally and you want to know why you keep getting people that are cheaters, that's the reason why, because it's the underlining energy is mistrust. And so, like I said, it'll come out like intimacy issues where the relationship is all hot and passion in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, it's like for one day, there's just no passion anymore. And it's because it wasn't on a high enough level. So the past life karmic mate, there's a lot of passion and there is a connection. But because the person's not on a high enough vibration where they're treating you again with the like a divine feminine, they're treating you like through their lower consciousness, which is all about the physical, nothing again about the emotional, not really putting in time, not being transparent, not being so all those things, which is person then is not showing up for you because they're not invested. Even if they're there, they're still not invested because it's how much you give, how much your heart is open. So of course the passion became the problem because you're like I still feel like there's a connection to the past karmic or the past your past relationship. There isn't. It's over. So this person can be nice. They don't want to be seen as a bad guy. So that's part of, or the bad girl. So part of their spiel is that it's that they're not very good when they're actually in the relationship. But after the relationship, this person becomes the person that you almost think, is this the person that I was like this is the person that I wanted to date. Like this is the person but that person's not real. That person's going to show that person of the past that they act like that. So, and because it's also will make you feel like, well, then it's you. Whereas, no, it's not you, it's them. They're not capable. They have intimacy issues, trust issues. That's how it comes out, which obviously leads to the person not trusting them. And so when you know that the passion is, getting ruined in a relationship, well, you know that the relationship is on its way out. And then, of course, that's normally when the person awakens. And then you're dealing with that bull crap because you're like, oh, sure. Again, like you felt like you were forgotten about. And that's the reason why. Like, well, and that's not emotionally showing up. I'm going to act like I don't care because I can't be transparent. I can't show my feelings because that shows weakness. That's so again, it's a persona, it's an illusion. It's not real because you're like, I know what I feel. And you because again, that's an ESP connection through the heart and mind. But people say, how does it go from this hot passion to ice cold? Where a person just is like, ew, like after, and that's what happened. And that's what I feel like is happening because you're saying you're seeing this person for who they are. Because it's again, when they were dealing with you, it was abusive, psychological and emotional abuse. You might not have been hit, but that psychic trauma, understand what it does. It's more dangerous than the physical abuse because the psychic trauma will make you again how they're acting like will create that energetic imprint, which is the same energetic imprint whichever you were brought up in. again, to create that dynamic, to make you look at certain things about yourself. However, if you don't know how to heal, you'll wind up like falling into the trap, which is, you feel like your life is upside down. You don't know what's real, what's not real, what's fake, what's not fake, and it's because the person is not, it's again, they're fragmented. They can only compartmentalize. They can't, but they're going to require 100% from you. They're not really going to give as much. They create a lot of fear because they're always trying to like deceive to make sure that they don't have to get to give. Understand, this person normally outsmarts people. I don't feel like that they outsmarted you, however. Remember, soulmate. Everybody learns, spirit says. That's why the universe brings you that soulmate. Just sometimes you're like, well, I feel like they don't learn. No, they don't show expression, but they learn. It's just, it's not that they don't learn, they get the consequences. A lot of times they don't look and see enough to learn because they get stuck in being bitter and angry because their heart is already closed off when they're like this. Union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. So this person, oh, like again, just feels that connection. So understand the cockiness might come from that. Self-righteous, where you're like, okay, you're so insecure, but then you're gonna act cocky. What is that? That's the second chakra imbalance. That's a person that's too is not gonna show their insecurity at all. So they're going to overcompensate by being like self-righteous, and it's all again this intimacy issue because they don't trust themselves. It has, again, they don't trust you because they don't trust themselves. It's because what has been created with their own life. However, this energy is still there, which again is this unconditional love. So, which I don't think that this person normally experienced that before, because normally I feel like they normally wouldn't care. You, I feel like, yeah, you still have that connection, even though this person did, but you're like, there's a conscious, I know I want more from my life. I wouldn't be able to live like this. It's a realization. Yeah, I've never felt love like this before. The depth of it can be inspiring, but also so overwhelming. And so understand that overwhelming is what pushes this person into that fight, flight, freeze because they overthink. And then they get in their own way. Because again, they're coming from a place of really not believing that they can have love. They feel like they're the outcast. They feel like, again, that they don't belong. So they're going to make you feel like you don't belong. So again, but this person like has a strong connection to you. My heart is with another right now. I have to finish this karmic contract in order to be free. I might feel like a lot of you started a connection when this person was in separation from somebody. And then it's a karmic mate. So you're on a higher vibration. This person is on a lower vibration. So it's this person chose to stay with what was easier, and also to, it was a double-edged sword. It's like I don't shouldn't say double-edged sword because that's a negative, but this person thought it was like going to be a positive, meaning I'm going to, you know, give my attention over here while you become insecure and pine for me. And then this way you'll come for me. Where they stayed for so long because you never came for them. That's what I feel like, that there's a sense that they weren't supposed to stay as long, but it's easier again because I don't have feelings. I don't really care. And so I don't really feel like they're really with anyone. It's just if they're, have their uh, clothes or their possessions there at this person's home or this person. So it's like I'm there. So being that I'm there, that karmic has, expect something in return. And so whatever that is in return, it's like this person has to abide by certain types of rules. But this way, they're not really giving anything to anyone, and they're staying in this place where they're not making a choice. What is whoever is they're connected to is the one giving of their resources. And so, this person has to choose to say, well, in being with someone that's on a higher level, I have to do my part. I have to raise my energy, because you wouldn't be with a person, like I said, that you're not going to take care of yourself. You don't even want to take care of yourself, then you're not going to want to take care of me. What kind of future? And this is why you look at this person the way that you do. This is why that, like I said, why I started the reading the way that I did. Like this person feels like that they are gonna come and talk to you. And they want you to believe that they're going to come and talk to you and to work toward union with you. But it's almost like I feel like that's always the promise. The promise is I am going to. But it never happens. And for some, if it's not a person, it's a thing that stops them, like a job or something, where it's like, but they're always like, I'm going to, because they already know that there is the emotional tie to them. You have that. But this person would want you to believe that they're going to do it. And I feel like they will, but it's always when by the time that it's over. And it's because this person has a lot of fear, and I feel like this connection is strong where they say, I'm not going to give in to fear, that it's an illusion. But this person, until they heal themselves. Now, I always, to be fair, always say that people have the opportunity to rise at any time within whichever lifetime. They can step into that twin flame connection, if from past life connection. This person again, like I don't know if they're really going to step into it. If they would to actually come towards you, then you know it. But what I feel like also is that this person listens to people that they shouldn't listen to, because they're not secure within themselves. So that would be part of the things that, like I said, they would have to be confident. Part of healing is that you're confident, that you trust yourself. You don't rely on other people. And where this person does that, they think that you're beautiful inside and out. So again, that would be the reason why they would actually come to you. But I feel like this person, like I said, it was only happens because now you're ignoring them. You're not giving them attention. So you're like, why all of a sudden? Well, again, I feel like when you ignore this person, that's when they have to, it's not like they didn't have feelings. They just expected you to act a certain way. You didn't act that way. You took your energy away. That triggers their sense of abandonment, which is why they have intimate issues to begin with, is what spirit is saying. So what you see is a lot of a little bit of contradiction, where they really have feelings for you, but then you're like, everything that you're doing is like just sabotaging the connection. And spirit says, exactly. That's called a psychological reversal. And that's when a person believes that they really can't have love. And just like where they've closed off their heart. So, of course, their way is to get you to chase them. I'm going to ignore you and not give you any attention so that you come to me. It's like where, this person never takes responsibility. That was another thing. It's not like you just said, it wasn't like you didn't tell this person, but it's like they would just like blame fate, right? They would be like, no, that wasn't my fault. I had to work, or I had to. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't. But it's they wanted to pretend that they were like blind. They wanted you to be blind to the truth. But the truth is that you're like, I feel like being connected to this person, you had to get like a lot of readings, or felt like you, in order to like understand what this person, like how they feel, what they mean, if they're genuine, if they're not. So after a while, you would like get a lot of readings. I don't feel like you were addicted, but I feel like it got to be annoying where you felt like I can't really navigate this connection because you're not transparent with me, and you do the exact opposite of what you should be doing. So yes, I know that you have feelings, but I don't like what it looks like. So again, you reached your boiling point where I just feel like after a while, like again, the relationship got ruined and ruined and ruined over time. So I don't even feel like you want to be back with this person, obviously. But this person has feelings for you. And I feel like again, now that once the relationship is completely over and destroyed, that's when this person wants to come back to you, which is really infuriating because it's like the time that they had to fix it, and now they want to fix it. So it's almost like it's always on their time, is how you feel. Where I feel like just spirit says part of it, if it is a divine connection where this person is stepping it up, you wouldn't be able to like, be able to, you wouldn't like how they conducted this, but you wouldn't be able to turn them away if it was real. And you might be able to turn them away like once or twice, but this person would be so persistent and they would win you over if it was real, a real divine connection. And it would be exactly when you let go. And I was like, I'm not interested anymore. I'm so disgusted because I feel like that's what happened. It's like you got so angry with like, like game playing. It's like you want to like, you're selfish, want everything your way. But it's not that this person doesn't have feelings. It's like I have feelings for you. But if I have feelings for you, then I need to be in control. And also know that there's going to be intimacy issues. I'll be there, but when I'm there, you're going to not really feel like I'm there. I'm going to be checked out. But if you again leave me, well then I could get stuck in the fantasy of the relationship. So again, so it's my way of staying close where you're like, you don't talk to me, but you're going to stalk me. It's going to be like that type of energy because they're not comfortable with those feelings that they have for you. It makes them feel weak. So they're not going to be transparent. It's not that you're crazy. It's just that that's from their wounds in childhood. And you're like, yes, but why do I get it? Because what we see is you definitely walking away from this has to be that, at one point you were vibing at a lower energy where you were accepting this type of energy. So spirit says, yeah, you're gonna have keep getting the lesson till you deal with it differently. It's like part of dealing with it differently would be not even to give the person the time the next time. Don't even let it affect you emotionally. You have to handle it like how spirit would handle it, how the universe wants you to handle it, which is from a place of unconditional love, even though the person doesn't deserve it. Person doesn't deserve it, but it triggers us more because it whatever we say, that person did this though to me. And spirit says, yes, but they couldn't have brought out that unless that was there. So it's like, again, you can't go back in time, but you want to know how to take that sting out of what they did, or you want to know how not to be afraid to attract the same type of energy because that energy is already imprinted on your subconscious mind. And how do you think you manifest? Through the energy that you radiate out, and that's part of your energy, and you're not even aware of it because it happened so long ago that it's not even suppressed energy, it's repressed energy now. So you're like, I'm vibing at a different vibe. And it's like, I don't want this type of connection. So spirit says, well, we got to look at the inner child wounds, because through the inner child wounds, you'll see the karmic theme that continues to play out. whatever. It's going to be victimization. Is it betrayal? Is it look, shame? Look, I knew it. And I understand the person I feel like, had shame and they projected a lot of their crap onto you. But Spirit says you would, yeah, also had to have experienced that. Like, again, because these are your inner child wounds. But shame always tells us that we're bad. Like, where kids do things that are like mischievous, but no one's bad. It's like disassociated. See, that's trauma. That's trauma, like the psychological trauma. So growing up in an environment that I feel like you were like shamed because of maybe bad grades. Maybe your parent just didn't like the way you dressed. Again, it was through your individuality, meaning who you perceive that you are. It was got affected by it. Disassociated means, yeah, I know what happened, but I don't have one feeling about it anymore. I don't even know what the feeling was. And Spirit says, yeah, but those parts that you don't remember, those are fragmented parts. It's like they've become repressed energy. There's behaviorisms there now because of thoughts due to that experience, is what Spirit's saying. So you can understand why you attracted this person. Again, person that has intimacy issues, that, like, can, if they're going to be with you, they're going to be checked out, thinking about someone else going to be there, but not there. And when you're not with them, they're going to be karmically corded to you. But you're like, why do you even want to be connected to me? This doesn't make any sense. And Spirit says, no, it doesn't make sense. But meanwhile, this person is still stalking from the sidelines, hiding from the sidelines. And it's all an intimacy issue that they have with themselves. It's where, when a person has been like raped, they do this. When a person has been like, there's been such a victimization, sometimes it's not even rape, it's just such betrayal and violation. And it could be violations because so emotionally and psychologically abused. It's like it'll come up as trust. This second chakra imbalance is one that it affects intimacy, big time, balance, trust, the emotional centers. And because there's so much emotion, it's like I can't deal with it, so I just detach from it. So Spirit says, yeah, so that's there. And so I need to tell you because you've been asleep with this. So it's repressed energy, meaning you fell asleep on it a long time ago. You don't even remember it, but it's affecting us. You're not a clear conduit for spirit to work through. Chi, prana is the same thing as spirit, is the same thing as God, is the same thing the universe needs to work through you. And Spirit says, if you're all blocked up, it's like we're not going to be able to manifest anything, and you're disassociated to deal with it. Meaning, I know what happened, but I don't really. I know that maybe you'd say, I know that my mother was a bitch. I know that my father was hard. I know that this was this. Like, but you don't know the effects of the trauma that it created on you. And it's like, but that your relationships don't work out. You don't know how the two coincide. And Spirit says it's because of that energetic vibration of betrayal. It's again that you're not aware, but it's your subconscious mind remembers. The reptilian mind is a survival mind. That's its job, overrides everything. And that's your survival. So psychologically, it's like it's searching emotionally. And here it is, this person has such deep feelings for you that the subconscious reptilian mind says, what the fuck do we think we're doing here? Why would we go there? We're not going to do you remember what happened the last time? It's like you can't trust yourself. Snap out of it. And so this person gets in their own way and they sabotage themselves. But it's again, there was unresolved trauma that was childhood, your childhood as well. Because you're like, okay, but this keeps happening to me. Yeah, but this person had that happen to them as well. second chakra in balance, here we have one person that does not care about anyone's boundaries, does whatever the hell that they want, selfish. And then you got the other one that thinks that they're going to fix it, that thinks that they're going to love it, them to fix themselves. And Spirit says, both of them are breaking the spiritual law. So again, love me first. That's love you first, because I'm inside of you. Spirit's inside of you. Honor the spirit. Honor that deity part of self to be of unconditional love, but you have to do it by loving yourself. Understand, if this person really loves you, you're going to force them to live a certain way, because people that like people that hold a high energy, and the person is going to emulate it, because they're going to try and win you over, even though you know that they can't really stay that high on that high vibration. But Spirit says it serves a purpose. So you might be like, what the hell is that? Spirit says, well, it shows you, but here it is. It's to also bring out your wounds. Again, I would have to bring a lower state consciousness person to trigger those wounds within inside of you. Otherwise, they'd stay dormant, and you'd be like, well, it's not affecting my life. But Spirit says it is affecting your life. You're just not aware of it because you're detached. Because it's, again, you know how to do that from childhood, where you disassociate. But always have gifts, by the way, when you do that. However, it was frustrating. So you're like, yeah, relationships are frustrating because of it. And Spirit says, yeah, they would be, because you're not, it's again, that energy is there. You can't just pretend that it's not. You have to integrate the spiritual lesson. Spirit says, you're me in physical form. That's so your energy is supposed to be love, unconditional love. That is it, period. Anytime someone makes you mad, anytime there's a sense, then you know that you need healing. You've ignored that. You're like, I haven't ignored it. I've like tried to do different things. Spirit says, yes, from the outside. Now I'm not going to give this person that much time. Now I'm going to call them. Now I'm going to say all the things that I should have said in the past relationship. Now I'm going to, and Spirit says, you're never in the moment, in the now. The answer is not that. It's like you're trying to fix it. Where it's, again, are you broken? Because shame says that you perceive that it's broken. Spirit says you're not. It's focused on yourself, creating yourself, being the energy of unconditional love. You were raised with someone that made you feel bad, that you were traumatized from it. Was difficult. So obviously you weren't in the creative mind, you were in the survival mind. So Spirit says, you see how you and this person have the same energy? Like, it's like, but you're like, well, mine doesn't look like that. And Spirit says, no, but you needed to learn those lessons, as this person would need to learn the certain lessons as well, that you would bring to the table. There's many different realities that play it at one time. So understand, by you doing something different, which, by the way, you disconnected from this person because you're like, hey, I don't need to feel like, again, bad about myself, make me feel like I'm not emotionally worthy. You know, the Spirit says, yeah, to go out and play. You weren't allowed to play. When do children find themselves? When they go out and play. That's why it says be like childlike in the Bible, because children go out and play and they don't have expectations of how things are supposed to look. It's they're in that imagination realm. They're going out and discovering who they are. Spirit says, you're still walking around with shame. So the Spirit says, you're supposed to do that now. Don't give this person the time. It's like they didn't earn the time. Yeah, they want to come back. They'd have to come back giving you the sun, the moon, and the earth thrown in, like everything, and where it was so much time to wear you down because of the trust issues. And understand, if they're willing to do that, they would wind up healing themselves at the same time, because you'd hold to a certain standard and probably never be with them, and then they would wind up being with somebody else but show up correct for that other person. But it wasn't because they didn't figured it out on their own. People don't figure things out on their own. People do things for love. So what we see here is someone that's on a very low energy vibration and that thought that they were going to play games. You said, not today, Alice or Bob, not doing it. It's like, because you're making me feel like how, like what I grew up in. It's like, I don't need this shit. You're going to make me feel bad. Like, about, for what? Like, I'm a bad person because I'm not going along with what you want, which is, again, to devalue me. I'm not doing that. It's like, because that brings shame, actually. So I'm not living that karmic theme, thanks. Because I'm going to do what you want. You're going to dispose of me. It's like, because you haven't put any effort in, you give so many mixed signals, you're all over the place. It's like you're bipolar. Why? Because again, you don't know who you are, you don't like who you are. It's like person has so many facades from the trauma, but it's intimacy, trust on its level. And so what you'll see is someone that has a very like overactive libido, like they're just like a sexaholic. And then you'll have someone that's like, I'm not really that connected to my body. Like you'll have like the two extremes where spirit's saying, yeah, that's why if that karmic mate was to actually step into their divine energies, they would be balanced because they're polar opposites. So there is this twin flame essence, but if a person chooses to stay in a low energy because they didn't do anything, spirit says they don't get the rewards of that passion that comes with the twin flame energy. They get that reward per se because it's like they've done the work, and in the fact that they've done the work, it grew so much intimacy, it grew so much passion, but like from like a like an unconditional love. But that's because it made you a better person. That person made you a better person, and as you made them a better person, because you then took responsibility for yourself. Not that they saved you. You don't know how to do that. You have to teach them. But it's the awareness of what this person shows you, hey, that what they don't do, and it triggers you to awaken what you again say, well, what I deserve. I'm still walking from the level of shame like I don't deserve. It's like, wait, I'm over giving. I'm waiting to be approved. And Spirit says, yeah, that's out of alignment with my laws. It's again because you're perfect the way that you are. And this person will recognize it, but they're not going to tell you. They're never, because people are lazy and people do what's best for them. You have to make people do it. Otherwise, you'll say, oh, but I thought that they loved me and this and that. And Spirit says, yeah, but they don't really love themselves that well. So they don't even know what that really looks like. You have to hold the standard. 5 is organized chaos, meaning like life works, but it doesn't really work when you have a parent like making you feel bad about yourself all the time. And usually, if parents making you feel bad all the time, they're not happy in their own life. Even if it was, the outside looked fine, they grew up with a parent that raised them that way and think that it's okay. That's what that ancestral karma is. It's the passed down. So again, I belittled you because my parents belittled you. That's the scared you into doing the right thing. That's why your life looks so good. You're unhappy, but it looks good from the outside. It's like where again, shame comes from not really like living your truth, obviously. And organized chaos, it's like when you're living in survival mode, which you're obviously not going to get good results over time. You're going to feel like you don't fit in over time. And it's about giving yourself self-love, obviously, because spirit's saying shame is what is like the one of the deepest wounds that there are. It's like you're going to have like self-hatred. You're going to have, again, addictions that come from that because it's like person stuck in the past where spirit says, if you grew up in an environment to make you feel bad, then what happens is there's a sense that you need to steal love, and you can't also be vulnerable and or transparent. So you have to create a facade, and it's because it's such severe betrayal. So I feel like that's what happened to this person. That's what happened to you. So you just the way that you learned how to survive in that environment was different. You have different gifts than this person. If they would have stepped it up, it would have been a twin flame connection. They did not, Spirit said. So you had to reparent it yourself. I need you to go out and play, Spirit says. I need you to give yourself that self love, to find yourself, to, again, to do the healing, to heal the shame, to integrate the shame, because you're not shame, but if you haven't created enough of yourself because you're stuck in the past, then you say, and that might be like, I went to school, and you know then after school I got a job and everything, and then I finally met somebody, but it's like very like fragmented, or like it's just like it feels like your life isn't moving. Understands it's because you didn't give yourself self love. You didn't find yourself. The moment that you tried to find yourself, you were told not to. Again, shamed is that. It's like, I can't, that we get shamed for many different reasons, not just because we do something bad. We're seen as bad, and that psychologically makes us disassociate because it doesn't feel good to be around parents that are looking at you like you're bad, or people that are making you look at bad. It keeps us up in our mind. So Spirit says, so then again, you weren't in your body. It's again why this person is all like, oh, come on, like they have a lot of passion for you, because they don't have a problem in that area. They have a problem spiritually, obviously, and the way that they conduct themselves. So Spirit's saying, it's like, obviously they're not on a high enough vibration. But the relationships, every relationship teaches, every relationship grows, and people tend to learn slowly, intuitively, when it comes to spiritual stuff. So like I said, this person is going to learn because you're not going to be there. They really are like, wow, I really have feelings for you. Too late. you know so you can say, well, why would I, what else? So it was just for me to go out and play, Spirit saying, like it, and to give myself self-love. And Spirit says, well, you have to do that because you have to find yourself, and you have to connect with new people and new situations. And if your energy was stagnant, you're stuck. You just don't hold on to shame, because you're not shame, Spirit says. So you have to go out into the world, and then you connect with different people through your hobbies and your interests, and you find yourself. And then the old people that actually make you feel like that, they drop out of your life, Spirit says. There's nothing in your life that could even like surround you to make you perceive that. But you have to change that environment. Otherwise, when you have that imprint, you continue to create it, is what Spirit's saying. So too much energy of the past. And that also happens from, I don't really know what I want to do aside from get married, or I don't really know what else I want that's going to make me happy. And Spirit says, you have to figure that out first. It's like, because otherwise you'll give too much. You'll be codependent. You'll attract an attachment instead of a good connection. That's why, Spirit says. And then, Spirit says, take the time out. It's again to create the sacred space, creates to cleanse like your energy. Spend time with yourself to figure out what it is that you want first. Like this shows, again, Spirit says, you wouldn't have attracted a person like that unless you didn't love yourself enough. You didn't love yourself enough because you were conditioned not to, because you were shamed to the point that the trauma was pretty significant where you detach, disassociated from yourself. Can't run away when you're a kid, spirit saying. So you checked out, became less grounded, less connection to the physical body, which goes back to saying how opposites attract. You know, beyond the illusion. So the Spirit says, try to discern the truth that fear obscures and to see your reality. Pull back the curtain. Like again, that you're not seeing yourself for who you are. You're not seeing what you're deserving of. Spirit saying it's an illusion. It's an illusion due to again the perceptions from the past wounding. That's why Spirit's saying you need to take the time out. It's like you don't want to pull fragmented people to you that make you feel like you're not loved. You got to give yourself that love, Spirit says. That'll happen when you invest in yourself. Then a whole new world opens up. Oh, God makes a way where there is no way just for you. The universe conspires to bring you what you need to help you get there. You don't have to figure out how am I going to get there. Spirit says, just be like childlike. Utilize whatever's in your environment and create yourself, become yourself, move away from that energy. It's like because people in the environment that you grew up with will always want to perceive you the way that they remember. It's what makes them feel comfortable. But if it's out of alignment with your truth, you can't change those people. They don't want to change. It's again because, hey, I get to feel superior, but you're not going to heal in the same place you got sick. So you have to make a way where, again, people connect with you through the heart, through, again, common interests. You're like, hey, I like to do this every week. I go down to listen to music. Hey, I like to skydive every week. Hey, I like to join the circus every week. It doesn't matter. Spirit says, find your people, find your support. Give yourself that love. You weren't allowed to be a child. You were shamed. Children want to be good. I want to be loved. I want to be loved. Spirit says, reparent yourself. You got to give yourself that self love. It's like can't go to this person. They don't know what they're just as wounded as you are. Spirit saying it's like they don't know how. It's not because it's not that I always get this person. Spirit says you always get that person because you haven't healed what you need to heal. But it's not like there isn't love there. It's just it's fragmented, Spirit says. And not saying that you want that. But nevertheless, it's like that's what it looks like because that's where that person is. Release control, Spirit says. Let me do. Surrender to your process. Let go of the need to control things and trust in the flow. And that can't happen unless you're balanced, Spirit says. There was a root chakra imbalance. There was a lack of connection to the physical world, the physical body, all physical elements of the physical world, Spirit saying. So again, being like childlike helps you to, connect without having anxiety because most children don't have anxiety when they are just going out trying to go out and play and they don't say how I play it's got to look good. They don't do that. Spirit says they just go out and they utilize whatever's there and they let the day happen unfold. And Spirit says you do that and you take the time and you'll transform your spiritual blocks into spiritual gifts. Again, it'll open up a whole new way. You'll turn your fears into strengths as you step into your power. And it's profound change. It's transformational. And I think that Spirit just said, you have a lot of suppressed energy from how you grew up and you handled it well, but that energy's still there. I just want you to know that. You're like, I haven't thought about that energy in years. And Spirit says, yeah, I know it's repressed energy up by now. You think it's part of you, but it's really not. It's almost like you've been wearing that for so long, you really think that it's a part of you. It's a habit. And and it separates you from me, Spirit says, because I'm unconditional love. That's all that I am. I'm the energy of the universe, and you're feeling like you're separate. And so when you feel like you're separate, that cuts you off from your spiritual sovereignty to be able to create your heaven on earth. Because I can work through you to make miracles happen. I can bring you the people, the situations, the experiences, because I'm the universe. I bring you everything that you need. But if you're all blocked up, it's not going to happen. And you're not even aware that you're blocked up. Let me bring you this person. Oh, you brought this person and you had an eye opener. Yeah, you're like, what the hell is this person that's horrible? And Spirit says, yeah, well, again, that's what it looks like. From my angle, you're like, mine doesn't look like that. And Spirit says, no, but you allowed it. It's like so again, that opposite energy, almost like the empath and the narcissist created in the same environment. They just learned how to deal differently. It's like that's similar energy. It's just this person like just didn't evolve. And so Spirit's like this energy came into your life to help you transform. Otherwise you would never even know. It's like that it's there. So it was essential part of the evolution. And then one more message from Spirit, and that is inner beauty. Open your eyes and your heart and direct your gaze to the light within every being. Personality within every being. Personally and physical appearance are in the image of man. Beauty and goodness are in the image of God. So again, seeing like the beauty in every single person. I want another one. Um, the divine fruit. So Spirit's saying it's like now that makes a lot more sense because I'm like, what does the hell does that have to do with anything? The inner beauty, that seeing the goodness in everybody. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What does that have to do with anything? And Spirit says, well, it's the connection to people. It's again that second chakra imbalance, which is I have trust issues now. And I have trust issues because I was with this person that was a liar. That again said that like played a lot of games, toyed with me. It's like, yeah, now they want me, now that I don't want them, but I don't trust them. It's like, yeah, they want me until I want them again. Then it'll be another circus. And that's it. That's for another reading. We didn't do that today. But there's a sense of I've been on this merry-go-round before. It's like I know that all it does is go round and round. It's like, and so what Spirit's saying is every single person is beautiful inside. It's the wounding that doesn't. But every single person also comes into your life to teach you. And so what Spirit is pretty much saying is it's like you need to go out and play so that you can connect with people through the heart because trust happens when you learn to trust yourself, and relationships are something that happen over time and when you're balanced. So it's otherwise there'll be a sense of I can't trust, where you can be like, I can have trust. Well, the problem was I was too close up to the picture. I gave you that everything was passion about you. So I was like this, I didn't see anything. But now that I'm here and I have balance, I can see, I have discernment, I can trust myself. If something's off and I feel that it's off, you know what, I can bounce it off one of my friends that I've met in one of the classes that I'm at, just to and they're gonna tell me because hey, where we become friends, like where it's growing in a balanced way, but she's gonna not she or he doesn't know me well enough that they're really gonna care about the situation. So they're gonna be very honest, support, love, emotional connection, Spirit says, happens through, again, this trust, the giving and receiving of love to, again, through the things that you love to do, through becoming yourself. You are not shame, Spirit says. Then once that happens, you connect to the people that creates the support. You can go with the flow of life, but then Spirit says it's all so that you'll know like where you're at, because again, it's the divine fruit. What you see is within is without, right? The fruit that you bear reflects the light that's within, meaning how light you are. Are you spiritually blocked, where the darkness, the shadows are from the blockages, or are you free, clear? And Spirit says your first and second, third chakra were imbalanced because, again, disconnection from mother and father. So, disconnection from the physical world, the physical body, all physical elements of the physical world. Again, the first chakra is adrenals. You'll see imbalances within that which brings shame. Always the first chakra imbalance. I don't have enough money. I feel like I need to wear a mask. I feel like I'm inadequate. Again, all those things, again, where spirit says, that's not you. And that's not that person. It's like, that's the experiences made you perceive that. So it's, again, even though you didn't heal at the same rate where you healed and you're going to evolve past this person still who got affected by it because they're going to come back to you and you're not going to want them. And so Spirit says, and that, my friends, is that the universe says, well, you got a lot of karma here, buddy or sister. Here it goes. You got to pay. Got to pay up before you can go past go. It's like, so they reap the karmic consequences, and you're the one that got away. You're the one that, because they were coming back to fix it. You're just like, I don't want this. It's like they thought who they were. And that happens when you show a person how much you care. So Spirit said, see how much you showed this person? You see the connection that this person saw? It made them a little delusional. Understand that. So it's on them, the karma. And for you, it's about to help you transform, to see beyond the illusions of the perceptions which were created not really from you, but from people that put that on to you. So I'm going to leave that there. Does anybody have any questions? Maybe the mistaken accountability with control. What is this? Oh, I had today aha moment about trust. Now I am here. Well, it's, again, if no one has any questions for me, I'm going to wind it down. It's been a long day. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day or night, wherever you are. I'll be on again tomorrow. Bye.